So hello everyone. Thank you for being here. It's a crowded room. Yeah, we have some lights here, but yeah, we can see everyone. So thank you for having us. I hope you enjoy. And let's get started. So Antoine.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, first quick question. Have anyone heard about Perses yet? No? And who knows a bit what it's about? Okay, not that bad.
Quite a few people, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So before we getting started, who we are. My name is Nicolas Takashi. I'm observability tech lead at Coralogix, and I'm Prometheus operator and Perses maintainer. And I like to pushing code on other projects like Thanos, OpenTelemetry, Prometheus, so mostly C and CF related observability ecosystem.
Yeah, and I'm Antoine Thébaud. I'm a senior software engineer at Amadeus, working on an observability platform, and a Perses maintainer for quite some years now.
Cool, let's go.
Yeah, so first, so a few words about Perses in general, then we will dive into the specific topic of today. So Perses, it's an observability visualization tool, and you have an overview of its, let's say, main UI, the dashboard UI here on the screen. So it's an Apache 2 licensed project, and recently, so summer last year, it made it to the CNCF, so as a sandbox project. And for these reasons, we really see Perses, so besides, let's say, its UI part, as a standalone application that you can deploy, we really see it also as an initiative to converge towards an open specification and a standard specification for dashboards in general, so and hopefully to increase interoperability between various observability tools. So Perses has various main focuses that we will go through quickly. So first, extensibility. So Perses comes with a plugin architecture that basically has been around for quite some time, but we have a brand new architecture coming, a V2, coming in the next week. So the objective was to release that before KubeCon, but yeah, sorry, we failed on that. But anyway, so with this plugin architecture, really, we allow anyone, any team, anything to create their own plugins to extend the capabilities of Perses. So it could be in terms of visualization options and also in terms of data sources. It's also, Perses is also embeddable in the sense that it provides a set of NPM packages that you can embed in your own UI. So this is, for example, the case of the OpenShift console by Red Hat, which is one of the main contributors of Perses. So they embed Perses visualizations into their own UI. It's quite seamless and lightweight. And yeah, so for this reason, Perses is quite made for developers.
Yeah, and what is nice here is that you can embed other panels in Backstage, for example, because it's super easy. It's just an NPM package, and you can embed Perses panels in other places like Backstage or any other developer portal or solution that you would like.
Yeah, indeed. And one last point, so Perses is GitOps friendly. So since the beginning, we provide a clean data model, really kube native. So it's actually quite easy to just output the dashboard in the format of CRDs that you can push to Kubernetes thanks to the Perses operator that we provide. And so the data model is quite clean and familiar for Kubernetes users. And we also provide SDKs in 2 languages to code dashboards. So this will be the specific topic of today again. So we will dive more into that soon. And so yeah, SDKs plus also a powerful CLI that you can use in the scope of Dashboard-as-Code, but also to automate many kind of tasks.
Good, thank you, Antoine. So yeah, probably most of you already heard about what is Dashboard-as-Code. Like we have been doing a lot of things as code, right? Infrastructure as code, policy as code. Why not Dashboard-as-Code as well? But like with a good solution, like pretty nice schema, maybe some SDKs, some tooling that can help us like validating the dashboards, deploying the dashboards easily, and so on. So before we dive deep into it, let's just make sure that everybody is aware. Like So the idea of dashboard as code is just to, like, you can describe your dashboard using a code language, usually YAML, JSON, or whatever, or even other language like Golang, Qlang, as we are mentioning. And then you can store this dashboard definition in your source code, like GitHub, like GitLab, and so on. And you can have like some DevOps practices on top of it, like linting, unit testing, preview, and you can even have like some nice transformations on the dashboards before you deploy to the end solution. You know, like the idea is just to make this as cloud native friendly as possible. That said, what is the kind of tooling that we need to creating dashboard as code using Perses? Well, Antoine was mentioned now. The Perses project is offering like different ways to creating dashboards. Okay, you can create it through the UI, as you are doing in other solutions. If you're brave enough and you remember all the Perses specification for dashboard, you can craft your own YAML or JSONs, but I believe that nobody wants to do that here, right? And the other options is you can use the two flavors of SDKs we are offering, like the Golang SDKs or the Qlang SDKs. We have pros and cons in each one. Okay, and in the Golang side, you leverage all the power of the Golang you have. Like you can leverage the ecosystem, you can leverage like the unit testings, and everything that we have in Golang. On the Qlang, you don't have all this capability, but you can leverage some native features that we have in the Perses with the Perses schema and so on. You can see like the pros and cons on this slide. So you just need to choose your SDK and move forward. We are maybe in the future we are willing to support new SDKs, but the new language, but it's mostly Golang and Q what we have been using so far. So contributions are pretty welcome. So okay, I pick my SDK, I crafted my dashboard, and now I need somehow transform this dashboard that was written in Golang, for example, to the manifest that Perses is reading and understanding. With that, you can use Perses CLI, which is a command line interface that allows you interact with Perses server and generating plugins, building dashboards to the standard definition, and many other things. With these two tools, you can have some development life cycle looking like this. So you have five stages you are crafting using the dashboards, creating the dashboards using the SDK you choose. And then you can use Perses CLI DAC. Like DAC, DAC is a short term for dashboard as code. So you can use Perses CLI DAC build. This will generate the YAML or the JSON. You can just choose. Perses will understand both. And you can use Perses CLI lint to validate if this definition, the dashboard definition that you just generated, is a valid schema, is a valid definition. It comes with a default rules. Okay, you can choose offline validation. This will use a set of structural checks on the definition, or you can choose an online version, and you can provide a Perses server, and we will check if the plugins that you are using in the dashboard is available on this instance that you are trying, and many other things. But there are other corner cases for linting as well. Like in your company, eventually you might have specific rules saying that every dashboard in the company must be named using snaking case. Okay, or maybe any time series panel should be a table legend, like stuff like that. Perses CLI supports custom rules where you can use JSON path with common language expression, and you can run some assertions over the schema. So this allows you extend and customize the lint and the validation of the dashboard with your own rules. Well, after that, you have DAC preview. This will basically deploy the dashboard into a Perses server. But this is not just a dashboard. It's a dashboard that we use to name ephemeral dashboards. It's a dashboard with a time to live attached. This is very useful because while you are creating dashboards, you are sharing the dashboards with your peers, and you won't getting feedback on that. After you getting the feedback, you can just you don't need to care about deleting the dashboard from the instance anymore because it will be automatically deleted by some background routine. And the time to live of this ephemeral dashboard is completely customizable, okay? And once you finish, you have Perses CLI apply, and then you're applying the final dashboard to the manifest, okay? So this is something that we can use in CI, right? This is pretty extensible, it's a CLI. And with that in mind, we are using GitHub Actions in the whole project, and many people in the industry is using GitHub Actions. So we are offering, as part of the project, a GitHub action that applies all this lifecycle that we just saw, okay? You can run the actions, the steps isolated if you want, one by one, but we also have this DAC, the DAC workflow that does everything we just saw. And it knows how to understand if it's a PR, we'll create ephemeral dashboards. It's build and master, we'll create the dashboard itself. Okay? So it's demo time. We are not brave enough to do live demo. We recorded, but it's not going to be boring. We're going to talk while we are watching the demo. I hope you enjoy. So how many minutes? Yeah, we have a few minutes. Let me try to maybe 1.5 times. Like, should be fine. So this is a plain new project. Okay, you can see that we don't have anything, and we're just starting creating a Golang project. Go mod init, go get to get some Perses dependence, and we are creating some dashboard, like a very simple dashboard, like. We are not showing all the panels because we don't have much time, okay? So as you can see, we are using flag. It's just a standard library for flags, and this is nice because if you're leveraging Golang, you can use flags on your dashboards, and you can make it even more customizable based on external parameters that you are providing during the build, okay? Just move it a little bit faster.
Yeah, so first here we really start with a basic dashboard, empty. We just provide some lines of code to provide the name, the project where we want to host this dashboard, and that's basically it. So really the demo we are showing you today, it's using the Golang SDK. So there is also the Q SDK that exists. For the moment, from the feedbacks we had, so Golang is more popular, so that's why this demo is about it. But if you are curious, the QR code we shared earlier, so it was a bit fast, but you will be able to recover it later. It leads you to the demo project for this demo. And there is both Q and Go dashboard, so you can have a look at both SDKs.
Exactly. So this is the bare minimum for a dashboard, okay? So you're creating the dashboard, you need to set the project. Like every Perses dashboard needs to be related to a project. And we are adding the data source and then duration. Right after that, we run like Perses CLI build, and we have the YAML definition. Like as Antoine was said, it looks like Kubernetes. It's Kubernetes behind the scenes, okay? Like all the scheme. So what is nice here, it's like we linked, but the nice thing is I want to be able to use the same workflow as much as I can. Like I want to build in the dashboards locally, test everything before I even open the PR. So you can just maybe run some Docker container from Perses, and you can build in the dashboard using volumes, and this will be reflected in your local instance, as you can see. So we're changing things and so on. Yeah, like we are now adding some panels. You can see we can add the data source, reference the data source from the panel that we created in the dashboard previously. You can use time series and the table panel, and once we run Perses CLI DAC build, it just update the local instance. So it's pretty nice. It's OK. It's time to open a PR and share this fancy dashboard with my peers, right? So git commit, git push, as usual. And then if we go to GitHub, we can just create in the PR. pretty simple workflow. We can just, oops, not. So the GitHub action will just trigger in a few minutes. Moving forward a little bit. Yeah, adding the build. And we see all the workflow, building, linting, and creating the preview. Like now, if we go to the PR, we have a comment from the GitHub action with the link of the dashboard in Perses, the ephemeral dashboard. Like if you click, and you're going to see the exactly same dashboard that we were seeing on our local instance. And this is very useful because you can see the name of the dashboard. It's basically your dashboard name plus the PR number you are open.
Yeah, and basically, here with this example, it's a brand new dashboard. But let's say next PRs coming, when you will do changes to an existing dashboard. With this preview, you will be able quite easily to open the current dashboard and the preview of the new version on two separate tabs and to really be able to, let's say, visualize both versions and validate yourself that everything is fine. So you and also the PR reviewer.
Yeah, like now we are just adding a new panel with time series. Okay, what is nice here, like, and you can leverage what we have in Golang. Like, I want to make sure that all the time series panel is gonna be using the same legend style, like table style with min, max, and average, for example. You can just extract this into a Golang function and reuse all over the place, you know. So you reduce the amount of code duplication you have in your dashboards. You ensure that you have more standards over your dashboards because you can just use the same standard over and over again.
Yeah, and that's really an important aspect of, let's say, managing dashboards as code and not creating them through the UI. It's really this, let's say, factorization and import part that it allows. So you can imagine that, I don't know, an application that wants to have a consolidated dashboard with everything on it, including its specific application metrics to its technical metrics, for example, for pods or even maybe the Kafka cluster it would be using. This is the kind of thing where you could import libraries provided by different teams, different middleware teams, experts on their own domain. And instead of creating or, let's say, forking and losing the capability of these experts to update and to keep to continue having right metrics usage, etc. You can just import their libraries. So the day they provide a new version with improvements, you just update the dependency, and that's it.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this code reuse, it's like consistency matter, you know. If you make sure that all your dashboards in your company looks as much as it can be similar, during on-calls, during stuff like that, you don't have this like cognitive load to translate, oh, why this time series here? Like maybe it would be useful if I have like the average on this legend, or if we can try to use some sorting of the same color schema to represent what is error, what is not errors, and so on. So reusing these into functions in your code language, it makes it easier to building standard dashboards. So we just opened the PR with the new change, right? And you can see that we have yet another preview because you're doing a change, so it's yet another ephemeral dashboard. But we have also something cool. So yeah, the preview with the new panel, as we can see. We have two ephemeral dashboards. One was older than the other. And what is really nice here is like, since we are changing an existing dashboard, besides the preview version, you have like how the dashboard is looking like. You also have all the diffs between what you're changing on the code, you know?
Yeah, because of course, with Git, you have the diff of the base code creating the dashboard, but here it generates the diff for the final payload, the final YAML or JSON payload that will be effectively pushed to the server. So we can really, it's again an additional check that you can do to verify that your change is fine.
Cool. So this was the demo, and we're just getting started.
Yep. So what's next? So basically now, that Perses is part of the CNCF and that we have also the new plugin system coming in very soon. Now we really want to empower users to create dashboards and to share them, same for plugins, through a marketplace.
Yep.
So this is really something that we want to deliver soon, so that you would be able to go there and to find both the, let's say, the official dashboards and official plugins that the Perses organization may provide, but also contributions from the open source community. So yeah, so it would be about plugins, dashboards, and we can also imagine, let's say, dashboard-as-code pieces, like maybe just a specific set of panels, etc. It could also be some kind of libraries that could be part of this marketplace.
Yeah, and exactly. And we have the community dashboards. Basically, what we're trying to do is we don't want to starting from nothing. You have like plenty of Grafana dashboards all over the places, especially for CNCF projects. And we're trying to migrating those dashboards to Perses dashboards. And then we have the community dashboards. We already have some like well-known dashboards like Node Exporter, Prometheus Overview. We have some work in progress for some Kubernetes dashboards. And few things that we're doing in this work is, as Antoine is mentioning right now, we just don't want to make the dashboard reusable, but the panel. Like eventually you are building your dashboard and you would like to leverage only one specific panel from the community dashboard, not the whole dashboard. We are making this possible. Those dashboards are being built using Golang. So you have the public panels. You can go get Perses community dashboard and only importing one single panel from the whole ecosystem, you know? So this is what we have for you today, folks. We really hope that you enjoyed. And I think we might have some time for question, maybe. No questions? This might be good. The micro is over here, so feel free if anyone has one.
Yes, I have one question. So do you support exemplars from Prometheus? So the one which are available in Grafana, for example? Or do you plan to support them?
Yeah, so it's not supported yet. It's definitely in the plan, yeah. But yeah, it's not supported yet. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've got a question. Is there any built-in accessibility features into the dashboard?
You mean like access control?
No, accessibility, so like screen readers, descriptions.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I never check our accessibility score.
Yeah.
Well, we will make sure that we measure this and put in like as part of our work because it's really important to make like Perses accessible. Like, thanks for raising this.
Cheers.
Can we convert a UI to code? When a dashboard is being created in the UI, can that be exported as code?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, you can export, like you will not, at the moment we don't have option to export the SDK or QLang, but you can export the JSON manifest of the dashboard or the YAML. And I remember that we are also talking about exported the CRD because we are also offering a Perses operator that you can manage everything using Kubernetes CRD. So we will allow you export the CRD too.
Thanks.
And by the way, about the export, so you may have heard about the -0 during the -0 keynote yesterday. So on their side, typically they are interested in the Prometheus data model, and they are able. They support the Perses format, so you can export your Perses dashboard and import it in -0. And this is part of this open specification I was talking about earlier. So the goal is really, with time, more and more, we would like observability, solution tools, etc., to be able to support the same kind of feature.
All right. Great talk. Thanks for it. And I just have a question for people running like simpler setups where you're just, for example, running Docker, could you provision these dashboards and just import the files without some kind of discovery or any or the operator, for example, just provision the files provision dashboards as files directly to Perses?
Yeah, this is exactly what we did on the demo. It's like quite fast, but we just run a container with using Docker Compose and mounting the volume where the dashboard JSON was placed, and the Perses will automatically reload from time to time.
Okay.
Like in Kubernetes, we are also offering Helm charts, and we have a sidecar, so you can use you can mount volumes. You can have config maps with the dashboards, and we're gonna mount the volumes.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have two questions. One of them is about governance. We had the trauma of Kibana, Grafana changing licenses. It's nice to see two different, at least, vendors to say so. So in terms of governance, if we invest this, will it be what do you plan to govern this project, not just CNCF-wise, but in general? And the second one, we are currently limited with the provided panels. If we want to add a new panel, we need to be a contributor, I guess.
Yeah, like two different questions. The first one, it's a CNCF project, so it's under CNCF umbrella. It's not backed by one company. We have Amadeus, we have Coralogix, we have Red Hat working on that. As any other CNCF project, we need to get in an agreement and make sure this is not only benefiting only one company, you know. The second one, go ahead, Antoine.
The second one, yeah, so about the panel types. So yeah, so today we have something like 12 different visualization options. And with the new release coming in and the new plugin architecture, this is really something that now we will enable external contributors to provide more panels. So yeah, so basically if today something is missing, someone has to develop it. There is no magic.
Yeah.
But,
just to add something on that, we have the notion of core components. They are maintained by the core team of Perses, like Prometheus and Tempo data source. They are maintained by the core. And we are still discussing how we're going to handling community plugins, but not maintained by the core team. Because, for example, we have people asking for ClickHouse data source, MySQL data source. We don't have all these specializations under the Perses team, and it's hard to us maintaining all those components that we are not using daily basis, but we still believe that it's important for the ecosystem, all those plugins. So we are still under discussion. There is open issue for that. Ideas, feedbacks are super welcome in this moment.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
So I wanted to know if it will be planned to actually allow people to extend the UI. And I'm not just talking about, custom dashboards or components, but completely rewriting or extending the actual UI framework underneath.
That's a good question. We were talking about that yet.
Because today, the plugins we were talking about earlier, it's really about the different types of data sources, panels, and the variables. So variables, it's basically the drop-downs, so it's kind of linked to the data sources. But yeah, so we already had some discussion to have other types of plugins, and so to be able, for example, to add a brand new tab on the navbar to add something completely different. So this is being discussed. I cannot promise anything, but this is definitely something we are looking at, to have more types of plugins. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for that. I like the Dashboard-as-Code initiative. Do you see a way to use the Dashboard-as-Code feature in our existing UI, which is Grafana?
Well, so as I told you, for example, -0 is able to import Perses dashboards. So maybe in the future, Grafana will be able to do the same. So in this case, you could use Perses Perses Dashboard-as-Code to build Perses dashboards and in the end import them in Grafana. So currently that's not possible, but that's part of the ambition to push the other tools to converge to our data model.
I think it's a matter of customers asking for vendors supporting these. as it was with OpenTelemetry years ago, like everybody pressuring support, then we started getting this thing.
Okay, so I have to go to the booth and ask loudly.
Yeah. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you, enjoy. So, thank you, folks.
Thank you.